YouTube, it's Joanna Delilah, looking lovely as ever. I'm definitely, I know I keep saying this, but I am aware that I'm too old to be doing stuff like this on my wrinkly old face, but there it is. That's the fishing for compliments out the way anyway. So today's video is how to do avant-garde fashion makeup. And this is aimed at my college students, but of course anyone wanting to learn makeup will find it useful. So I'm going to go through a few of the stages and talk you through how to go about doing creative makeup. I know I look absolutely nuts at the moment, but I don't even mind. It'll hopefully all make sense when I get through the makeup. So I'm going to attempt to edit this video, so I'm not going to make you sit and watch me do the whole entire thing. I'm going to go through the steps and then I'll stop and start the video and show you as we go through. So it'll still be a little bit of a long one, and I make everything long anyway because I just waffle on. So before I start the makeup, just to go through some of the some tips for fashion makeup. The first thing you need to do is have a plan. Face charts are a brilliant thing to do. I'm going to do a separate video on face charts anyway, but if you Google face charts, you'll find loads of them. Really, really useful in this type of creative makeup, because I know a lot of students particularly just prefer to make it up as they go along because they feel pre-planning can be restrictive to being creative. And yes, I get that, but if you were working in fashion on a shoot or a catwalk runway or anything like that, you've got to work quickly. So having a face chart there gets all of the like airy-fairiness out the way in advance, you know, when you're thinking and you're all in the zone and you're all creative and lovely. If you do that bit first on paper, when you've then got the model to do the shoot, you can, you know, bang it out and you know exactly what you're doing. So planning is key. That's rule number one. Also goes hand in hand really with your planning is to consider a colour scheme. So many people when they first start out trying to do avant-garde makeup will just throw every single colour at the look, and that can be amazing, don't get me wrong. So if you want to choose all of the colours, more power to you, that can be amazing. But I do quite like to choose a colour scheme. So I'll choose maybe two colours that go together. I'm going to do a separate video on colour theory, but just in a nutshell, look at the colour wheel. If you Google colour wheel, choose colours that are kind of next to each other, or maybe two or three that are together on the colour wheel. And those are colours that are all going to complement each other nicely because they're going to blend with each other nicely. Colours that are opposite the colour wheel can look great together, but you wouldn't get them to blend without it looking muddy. So choose in advance, plan your design, plan your colour scheme. I quite like choosing like one or two colours as my main colour. And then placement. Think about the placement on the face. And again, this is something that people, if you're new to doing avant-garde makeup and trying to sort of unlock your creative style, sometimes you see where there's not an awful lot of thought into it. And it's a tricky one because avant-garde makeup isn't going to make the model look pretty, as you can see. So it's not about, you know, placing it necessarily to flatter the face. But having said that, sometimes I think people will just wallop a bit of blue stenciling across one cheek in a straight line and call it avant-garde. It's a tricky area because there's no right or wrong really. But I tend to think everything follow the natural contours of the face and everything going up and out. Think of your face or your model's face like a clock face, and this is the center, and so everything goes at that angle or that angle or that angle, coming away from the nose, like that kind of that opening of the face kind of looks, I feel like I've made that really jumbledy. But just follow the natural bone structure. So I always have things coming up following the angle of the contour, and with the eyes it will follow the same angle. Just think about your placement. Another tip with that is I like things in odd numbers. I think with art and creative makeups, I much prefer asymmetry than symmetry, and also it's a lot less stressful because trying to get symmetry on a face is another level challenge. So I've got 1, 2, 3 of my weird little plaster things here, which I'll show you what they're about in a moment. So I have got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7 steps to make a fabulous avant-garde makeup. I'm going to go through them now and then I'm going to show you each one. Now these 7 steps, you could pick 1 or 2 or 3 of them. You don't need to use every single one of them. I'm going to use every single one of them because that's what I'm demoing for you. But if you just cherry pick a few, it will work to make your makeup look high fashion and creative and cool. So number 1, my students, can you write this down? Number 1 would be a brow block. Number 2, a good base. I cannot stress enough how important that is. You can't have like a really creative makeup with like bits of like redness in the skin showing or blemishes. It just it just doesn't work as well. So you need a good coverage base to carry off a creative makeup. Then you want something nice on the eyes and or the lips, so some sort of cosmetic makeup element in there that looks quite nice but obviously larger scale. Soft color contour, I'll show you that step when I do the demo, but do your contour but in maybe a blue or whatever color scheme you're doing, in like with an eyeshadow on a big soft brush so it's nice and soft. Some stenciling using different shapes, and maybe you can use like fishnet stockings or lace or stickers, which is what I've got here, to do some stenciling. Where are we? Number 6 is embellishment, or lashes, so both and or. Embellishment means anything you're sticking on the face, so it could be gems, sequins, ribbons, buttons, piece of paper, lashes. And then number 7, so these are in no particular order, would be some sort of face paint added on top. What I like about that is the soft contour and then a sharp line of face paint, or it could be a shape, or it could be a paint drip, or it could be splatters, or a mix of textures, so adding some gloss somewhere to the eye or to the lip. Mixing up your different textures. So that's kind of your basic recipe. I'll type this in the description box as well. So I will be back with my first step on, which I'm going to do I think I'll do the eyes, lips and soft contour, and I'll come back. Thanks. I just thought I should probably film myself doing a bit of the soft contour so you can see what I mean. So I'm just going around the areas that I would normally contour, but what I like to do with like a high fashion makeup is take that all the way around the edges of the face, using a big soft brush. Don't use like an eyeshadow brush or something for this because it comes out too liney. The bigger the brush, the softer it looks, and it almost looks quite airbrushed. I'm using yellow. My colour scheme, as I said at the beginning, my colour scheme is going to be yellow, maybe a bit of orange just to deepen up the yellow, and black. And my inspiration for this look is this. This is a beret that I had in the 1980s. My mum found it. Annoyingly, she found it the day after I'd filmed my 1980s makeup. Otherwise it would have gone perfect with that. So I thought, well, I'll use it as an inspiration. That looks dreadful, but then again, it's avant-garde, isn't it? So everything goes. I'm going to use it for inspiration for this look. So I'm going to use yellow as my colour scheme, and I'm going to use some circles in the look, which is what these are about as well. Okay, so carrying on with my soft contour, I'm going to go all the way around. Oh, I really hope I don't make this video too long. No, it's annoying, but then again, it is for class, really, for college. So you'd have to, my college students, you'd have to sit through this in a live lesson normally. So and then I like to go right the way around, complete the circle all the way around the face. And this is what I like to call a fashion beard. So continuing with that soft wash of colour all the way around. Okay, so that's your soft contour. Hello again. So I am back. I've just done a little bit on the eyes. I've done like a highlight through the middle in a shimmery orangey yellow and shimmery black either side, and then I've added a little bit of bronze on top of the black, and I've blended out the bottom black with some orange, and I've used a bit of orange to slightly contour the nose. Added a black lip. So now I've done my steps: brow block, good base, eyeshadow lip, soft colour contour. Now I'm going to show you some stenciling. So as I said before, you could use like some fishnet and do some nice stenciling. If you wanted to do that, what I quite like to see is the stenciling. If you were to do fishnet, like for a mermaid or something design, keep it to in line with where the contouring would be. Don't just block it on, because it looks a little bit, yeah, blocky. So keep it in line with maybe with where you'd put your soft contour. You go over the top with another colour, either a highlight colour or a darker colour with your like mermaid scales type thing. You can also get some amazing product called face lace. Oh, I wish I'd got them with me, because I've got some. Never mind, I'll show you them another time. Face lace are like stickers for the face, and they are really elaborate curly whirly designs. You stick them on as like eyeliner, or you know, facial embellishments. They're ready done ones. They're amazing. So you can use those for stenciling as well. But I'm going to show you what I often use as stenciling. I'll just reach that, which is just cutting out some shapes from paper. So really super easy. I'm only using black paper just because this is the one I've got to hand actually, but really you can use, I normally just use like a normal printer paper for this. So I've got wipe my nose. So professional as always. Right, okay. So I'm just cutting out like a rounded shape. I think I'll cut into it as well and use this as my stencil. Oh, sorry, I'm not on camera doing that. I'm just so you know what I'm doing. I'm cutting my shape out. Maybe I could use that one as well, actually. I'm just going to neaten that up a bit and round it a bit more, because it's a bit rough where I wasn't really looking what I was doing. So you can use stencils with face paint if you want to. You can actually get loads of really nice pre-done stencils for face painting, which are amazing. If you're going to use the stencils for face paint, make sure your face paint is really quite dry when you use it. If it's too wet, it will seep through and ruin the shape. So I'm just going to find somewhere to put this. Let's put one here. Rather than face paint, I'm just going to show you how to do it with eyeshadow. So I'm going to use like an orangey eyeshadow. Unfortunately, in this sunlight, you might not see it too well, but hopefully you will in the photos. Difficult to do this on yourself and demo it at the same time, because you need to hold it. If you're doing this on a model, what I quite often do is I'll place it and then ask the model if they would be so kind as to hold it for me. So really important that you don't move your stencil, obviously. Because you'll lose your definition of the shape. So you could do these in all sorts of shapes. You can do sharp angular ones, you can do like spirally ones, twirly whirly ones, whatever you wanted to do. So there you go, that's the kind of effect that you can get. And then what I quite like to do is overlap them. It starts to make it look really sort of complicated, and it's ever so easy to do, but it looks cleverer than what it is. So let's just do another one. You could switch the colour as well, so overlap it with the same stencil but in a different colour. like so. It starts to sort of layer up that kind of pattern. Okay, crisscross type thing. Maybe I'll do one more. And then because I quite like things asymmetrical, but I do like to balance it, I'll probably put one down here so it's kind of diagonally opposite. Just looks a bit cool. Yeah, I think something down here will kind of balance that up. So let's put one like this. So you could do little stencils even up through the eyeshadows, all sorts of different things you can do with this. See what that one does. Let's put you over here. No. Over here. Oh, I like those. Oh, just got my hair attached to it. Okay, I'm going to play about with that and then I'll come back. The other thing I've done with stenciling is these stickers, but what I want to do is take these off right at the end. So there's like a little bit of like just natural skin showing through, and that will cut across. Like it'll be the last little touch that I'll do. And then I've got these stickers. This is the like the outline casing of these stickers. So I was going to use this to stencil some circles on in black, and I'm going to use face paint for that. So where shall I pop one? Let's put one, start here. So I'm probably going to do a few of these. I'm just going to show one on camera. I know this is getting longer and longer as the day goes on. We'll be here at 18 hours later. So I'm going to wet my brush, go into the face paint, but I want the face paint really quite dry. So I've just used one dip of water and I'm really mixing it in so that this brush is not going to be drippy wet. And then I'm going to stipple that in to the middle of the stencil. And then just taking care around the edges that it doesn't bleed out or spill. Anyway, just a tiny bit more water, so I've got a little bit more control with that paint. Actually, I quite like that speckledy effect in the circle. Leave it a bit messy. No, I'm going to do it neat first of all. Circles are really hard to draw freehand actually, so quite happy to have a stencil. Oh, I just need to neaten that edge up, that's going to bug me. Moment of truth. There we go, that's not too bad. It is a bit bleeding around the edges, but I'll sort that out. The other thing that I did with this actually that I didn't mention is before I stuck it on the face, I just stuck it onto my hand and then peeled it off, so it loses a little bit of its sticky, so it's not going to pull the whole base off as well. Right, so I'm going to do a bit more of that, and then I'm going to come back and show you the embellishment. All right then, so I've popped a lash on. The next step is the embellishment, which is sticking things on. So I'm going to use a set of lashes underneath as well, which I've just done on one eye. One thing that I prefer when I see lashes underneath the eyes, I see a lot of makeup, especially with avant-garde makeups, is sticking them that way, so they kind of flick out that way. I'd rather, can you see what I'm even on about? Like the curve sort of flat against the face. I personally prefer flipping them round so the lash is kind of upside down, so it goes that way. So rather than going down and out from the face, it goes out and down from the face, if that makes any sense. And I know there's no right and wrong, and there isn't really with avant-garde, but there is personal taste, and that's my personal preference. I like them out and down, not out and up. Down and out, you know what I mean. I'm over egging the cake now, aren't I? Going on. Right, so there's my bottom lashes. Now I've got some little gems that I'm going to use for my embellishment. If I tip it right up, they'll fall out, but you can see them. And I'm going to use eyelash glue to stick them on. Now the good thing as well about embellishment is it hides a multitude of sins. You can use things like that, like where I'm not very happy with the brow block, let's cover it up with some gems. So choose bits that you know, like you particularly find your dodgy bits. Don't waste a good bit of brow block and stick something on it. So keep bits in between clear, so it still shows your brow blocking. You could use sequins or, you know, little shapes of paper or little stickers. Like I said, the face lace. I'll use some little black ones. And I've got some bigger ones as well, which are like a grey colour, which will still go with the scheme. Is that too big to go there? Yeah, I think that's too big to go at the inner corner of the eye. We'll move that one. Stick him over here. Yeah, that fits better there. I've got some little goldy ones as well, which I think will look blend in with the yellow, okay? Pick them up. Oh, I have got a really good tip for using gems and sticking them on the face, which I can't do because I forgot about it. But if I did have some blue tack, I would stick a little bit of blue tack to the end of a makeup brush, and then you can pop it in, lightly pick up your gem and pop it on, and that's so much easier. I find tweezers are a bit fiddly with gems, so I prefer to try and use my fingers, or like I say, the blue tack works wonders. That's better. Oh, I love that goldy one, it really shines out. Right, I'm going to add a few more of those and mess about with that in a bit. The other thing I wanted to show you, which I quite like to do, is make embellishments that you kind of can stick on as eyelashes. I'm going to cut out some little thin little strips of paper. I don't know if I'll be able to stick this on camera, because sometimes if they're a bit heavy, the glue needs to dry a little bit, but we'll give it a go. So cut your long strip of paper, cut it to whatever size you want. And then you could curl it, you can sort of concertina it, or you can just have it flat. I'm gonna bend a little tiny little bit at the end to help stick it on. And you can get these, you can make them sit on the top lash as individual lashes. As long as they're not too heavy, they will sit as lashes, or you can slide them up under. So I'll do some underneath, I think, first of all. Bit of lash glue on the paper. If you want to do them on the top lashes, which you can do, it's easier to do it on top of a normal set of lashes. I'm going to do this on the bottom though, because I think it's a bit, it might not sit on top of these lashes, the shape I've done it. I might need to do it a bit shorter. Oh. And just hold that while it sticks. So I'm going to do a few of those either side, and I'll probably do some on the top. Let me do one on the top now just to show you. So I'm going to do a thinner one on the top. Like that. And I'm going to curl it upwards, and I'm going to pop a bit of glue on the end. Oh, dropped it. And I'm just going to let that sit on the false lash. Oh, needs to dry a bit longer. There we go. Cool, huh? So I have got pretty much all of my steps in. I've got the brow block, good base, eyeshadow and lip, soft colour contour, stenciling, embellishment and lashes, and I've got some face paint overlapping for my different textures. You could add a gloss to the lip, actually that would look nice. Let me just take off these little stencils here and see how this goes. You can't really see that on camera, but I think in the photo that's going to look quite good. And I overlap this black one, so we should get quite an interesting cutout from that. Yes. So I'm going to finish this off, and I'll just come back. I'm going to faff with it for 5-10 more minutes, add some more bits of paper and continue these lashes, and I'll come back and show you the finished result. So there we are. It turns out I don't know how to wear a beret. I never did, even when I used to in the 80s. So I think the hat's actually killed it. Plus the fact I got some face paint on it when I was trying to put it on, so we'll lose the hat. And do something to poof the hair. So I added some more paper lashes. I neatened up the lip a little bit, and I blended the outline to a very slight ombre, although it is black on black, so you might not be able to see it on the camera. I added a little bit of black shimmer eyeshadow to the middle of the lip. Stuck a load more gems on, stuck the paper bits on. And yeah, that's basically it. So thank you so much for watching. I know this is a really long video, but as I say, for my students, you have to watch it anyway, because this is a part of your work. For everyone else, I hope you enjoyed having a little bit of an insight into how to do creative avant-garde makeup. I'm gonna go and take loads of photos now. Okay, thanks for watching. Take care. Bye.